afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you on this glorious afternoon on Afternoon Express. My name is Jeannie D. Today we have such a jam-packed show for you. We're kicking it off with an ex-Miss Tanzania and international supermodel, Millen Magese. We're also going to be chatting to her about quite a serious health issue, and it's often overlooked, called endometriosis. Then it's all about fashion as we chat to the incredible Casper Bosman, who's made some of the most incredible dresses for Miss South Africa's, including the dress that Rolene Strauss when she won Miss World. And if shoes are your bag, baby, we're chatting to a very creative, absolutely amazing shoe designer in the loft. In the kitchen, though, we've got my little Italiano.
Buongiorno, South Africa. Really cool to have you right here on Afternoon Express with us. I know Jeannie is so excited to be on the show today with all of the amazing fashion that we're going to be speaking about on the show. But Clem and myself are excited to make something super decadent just to match what's going on in the loft today. So we're making a dessert that is literally the most decadent thing I've ever heard of. What are we making?
It is, and it's called the Extra Loving Peanut Butter Dark Chocolate Lava Pudding.
Clem, I actually have to ask you this question on national television. Do you come up with these names yourself?
I do.
Purposely to mess with the presenters?
Absolutely, I do.
Fantastic.
Every time. Did you pick it up?
It's nice to know that we have this on record, finally. So if you want to go and find that long name and the recipe and the shopping list, go find our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. You can download the recipe and the shopping list. All you have to do is print out the shopping list, take it with you to the shops when you guys do go, and look at that. You guys can download all the different ingredients and make this yourself at home. Looking forward to cooking with you on Afternoon Express today. In the meantime, we've got Jeannie on the couch.
Thanks, Danilo. And now our next guest, one of the most sensational women in South Africa. Her career began when she entered and won Miss Tanzania in 2001. After that, she moved to South Africa and started a modeling career. Her international success began when she was signed to a big agency in New York. And on a more serious note, though, she is the ambassador for endometriosis awareness in Africa, a condition from which she suffers herself. We're honored to have in our loft, Millen Magese. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, I mean, what a life you've had. I was reading your bio earlier, and it's just literally pages and pages of quite an eventful life.
Yeah.
But let's start at the beginning with winning Miss Tanzania.
Yes, so I won Miss Tanzania in 2001. It was such an excitement news for my family. Yeah. You know, the whole thing came when my family was really, really low. You know, really from 100 to 0. And I talk about 100 to 0 is when we used to sleep without eating or drink just porridge and salt. So that career or that title came with so much blessing that I was able to raise my family back again, raise my daddy's respect back again, be able to take my younger brothers and sisters to school. We're 5 of us. Yeah. And it just it changed my life completely. And I learned a lot in life that I'm able to live with anything, with anybody, and struggle and work in any different way and be able to just continue life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you saw the opportunity, I suppose, come from Miss Tanzania, you were like, this is my gap be able to help your family?
It was actually like a weird thing because at that moment I was pretty much like giving back to HIV kids who their parents have died, and I was training them how to speak English. Yeah. But every night or every evening I go back home and somebody saw me and asked me if I can go for Miss Tanzania. It was weird because I was extremely shy. I was dressing like a Somalian girl. You could only see my eyes. I cover everything, exactly how they dress, like a Muslim girl, but a Somalian girl, really. Yes. And they're like, I think I can go for Miss Tanzania. But at that moment, Miss Tanzania went like this because most of the time they explained Miss Tanzania as prostitution. Because you can, it was like the only thing you can win, you have to like sleep with the judges. So it was that mentality of the whole thing. And it was so hard for me to go and convince my dad because we're coming from a born-again family, but I knew exactly what I wanted.
Okay, and then when you got to Miss Tanzania, you saw that it obviously wasn't about that.
It wasn't. And I think at the end of the day, you have to know what you exactly want, you know.
Exactly.
I wanted to be a voice for these girls, and the last question I got on Miss Tanzania was exactly, if you become Miss Tanzania tonight, what are you going to do for your society? And I answered, I want to be a voice for HIV/AIDS. I want to go out there and be able to speak on behalf of them, be able to do seminars and tell them life is still there even if their fathers are gone.
Yeah. I'm absolutely blown away speaking to you because I've got a lot of friends that are supermodels and models in South Africa that have moved to New York. Now, listening to your story, you then moved from Tanzania to South Africa and then to New York. If it's so difficult for so many people and you just went straight up to the top, what was that journey like for you? That couldn't have been easy.
I think it was a time for me. I think everybody has their own phase. Yeah. When I came to South Africa, I didn't even know what modeling is. You know, I heard about modeling through my dad a long time ago when I was 16, because my neck is very long and I used to walk like very shy. So my dad pulled out Iman, and she's my icon, by the way. She's like, no, stop walking shy because Iman have longer neck than yours. I was kind of like a tomboy, but so scared and yeah. So I had that when I was 16, and when I was when I came to South Africa in Rosebank, I met John Sirius, the owner of Ice Models. She was like, here's my card. When you're done with your friends, pass by. I'm like, this woman going crazy. Where do I pass by? Now, that's my address. So I said, okay, let me go. I went to see them, and she was like, yes, so how can we help you? I'm like, what is she talking about? You called me to be here. She was like, so what's your name? So I said, my name is Happiness. That's my other name. She's like, okay, do you have another name? I said, you know, African kids, we have like 4 or 5 names. I'm not sure South African have that, but I have Happiness, I have Millen, Lillian, which is from my grandmother. All this, Lillian, Gyla from my grandmother. So like 5 names. They're like, no, that's second name. So I said, Millen. She said, yeah, that's the name we're gonna use. I'm like, what are they talking about? At that moment, I'm not even sure. I'm seeing pictures of people. I'm like, you know, I'm really like a little...
So from all of that, you were then, I mean, you've just done so exceptionally well. I think they called you like the best Louis Vuitton model of the world.
Yeah,
I mean...
Yeah, that was India. Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, I was the first model of color to go to India and do fashion week there. So I was the first face there, and he became Louis Vuitton Model of the Year. And it was amazing news. But South Africa, for me, have made me, have created the Millen.
Yeah.
When you speak about Millen, you cannot leave South Africa. And most of the time, people think I'm from South Africa, and I'm fine. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
They did a CNN commercial, and they used me. And when you call highlights of your career, that was one of my highlights.
But I mean, it's obvious that you would become so successful because you are exceptionally beautiful. But you're also a huge philanthropist. I mean, and you involved greatly with a lot of humanitarian work.
Right.
But also, you've kind of taken on this project of being the ambassador and fighting the fight and a huge campaigner for endometriosis.
Yeah.
When was that moment that you realized that you needed to be the voice for this disease?
So I've lived with this for 23 years. And
how did you know that you had it?
Thank you to South Africa again. 2005, when I moved here, I was shooting a cover and I passed out because my period pain was really, really bad. So they took me to the hospital, and the doctor said straight away, my doctor said, I think we need to do laparoscopy. The type of pain that she has, it might be something else. And I went to, they took me to a theater. They did not allow me out. They have to do a surgery straight away. I was already stage 4. Endometriosis has stages. I was on stage 4 straight. It was really, really bad. That the same year, 2005, I did 2 surgeries.
Did you know what it was when they said to you,
no,
you have endometriosis?
No, I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, but growing up, you know, I started being sick since I was 13. I didn't know.
So that's when it had started for you?
Yes.
Now, just for our viewers, what exactly is endometriosis as you understand it?
So endometriosis is a condition. They're not even saying it's a disease because there's no cause, there's no cure for it. So it's a condition when the inner lining of the uterus tends to grow outside the body of the uterus and other part of the body of the uterus, which is fallopian tubes, ovaries, bladder, and intestine. You know, so and endometrium tissue is what gives a woman periods. So it sheds down every month and we have our periods. So for somebody like me, it sheds both sides, but there's no way that blood can go through anywhere because there's no way to pass it as a period. So it stays there and cause a lot of pains and cause adhesions and scar tissues, which gives me a lot of chronic pelvic pain. It gives me pain during and after sex. It gives me pain when I go to the bathroom. It gives me pain when I urinate. When I move my bowels, it gives me lower back pain. I had an incident on Fashion Week last week. You know, it was too much that you're bleeding without knowing.
You were put into hospital during Fashion Week, I believe.
Yeah. I passed out there, and I feel so embarrassed.
No, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's what you're campaigning for.
Yeah. But you know, I heard this for so long, and at some point in my life, people used to think I'm taking drugs. They say that because they'll never know a night of me before Fashion Week, I'll be at the hospital and come out and go to fashion shows that, you know, they'll never know. They'll see me take injections backstage. I have to inject myself for me to go. So they'll think she's taking, I'm not sure. How do you take a drug injection there?
We're going to be back in a little bit later. We're going to be back in a little while to actually discuss more on this disease. Thank you for being so gracious and sharing all of this with us today. Amazing. But we'll be back with you in a bit. After the break, we're getting baking actually in the kitchen with a peanut butter and chocolate lava pudding, and we're joined on the couch by a gynaecologist along with Millen to chat more about endometriosis.
Winner Home, South Africa's premier design and decor reality show is back, and we're proud to announce that the highly anticipated third season will be hosted from the Afternoon Express loft. Are you a passionate and qualified designer with less than 5 years work experience with a hunger to make it big? Then this is your chance. You could be one of 3 designers who will turn 3 white box apartments into haute couture homes on a prestigious lifestyle estate in the Cape Winelands. You could win a cash prize and become the next big name in South African interior design. Log on to afternoonexpress.co.za now, click on Win at Home and fill out the application form. Send us your design portfolio and you could be one of the 3 design contestants who showcase their talent to South Africa. Applications close on the 11th of April, so apply now. T's and C's apply and are available on our website. That's Win at Home coming soon to Afternoon Express, weekdays at 4 p.m. Find it on 3.
Experience the world in a way less limited. Apply today at dinersclub.co.za. Experience the world in a way less limited. Apply today at dinersclub.co.za.
A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. It's all about fashion on the show today, but I'm very excited because in the kitchen we're making something so decadent, and it is called
Extra loving peanut butter dark chocolate lava pudding.
because I couldn't say that myself. So welcome back to the loft. We're making something so decadent, and I'm very excited to have you all cook along with us on the show today. How do we get started with making this super decadent blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah recipe?
It's got a name. It's got a name. I forgot it as well because it's just so long. So what I've got, starting off, we're going to melt our chocolate and our butter together.
Okay.
Those 2 together, combination for a winning dessert already. Pot of simmering water, just a little bit of water on the bottom, just simmering. Another pot on top, and into that's going to go some butter.
Okay. And this is typically called a double boiler.
A double boiler. You could do this in the microwave. I prefer doing it in the microwave. It's a little safer, actually.
Okay.
And it's just got to keep our eye on it. So put it in the microwave for about 20-second bursts. Every time it's checking out it, give it a stir. Let that all melt together.
So I see you're using a dark chocolate, a 75% and up, but can you use like another type?
Yeah, use a milk chocolate. It's all about preference. If you prefer having a darker chocolate, go for it.
Yeah.
If you're not...
And it also makes you cheat to think like, oh, it's actually a healthy dessert, which just makes me feel good about it. So we'll do
Who
that.
said that dark chocolate is a healthy dessert?
Everyone in the world knows that it's great for your well-being, for the mind. It's great for the mind. It's not good for anything else. I'm just talking about your body.
Okay, great. So what we'll do is we'll let the butter and the healthy dark chocolate get simmering away.
Okay.
We're going to do some eggs and some sugar.
Okay, and have to beat that up.
You're going to have to use that whisk. Actually, you're going to use a little teaspoon to do it.
How much must I put in?
All of it?
Teaspoon, yeah.
So show me how you're going to use your little teaspoon.
Get over yourself.
I'm helping you out. I'm not even going to give you a whisk. I'm giving you electrical tools.
Okay, how fast you want it? On a quite a high speed?
On a high speed. So what's going to happen is, and you might not know this at home, that sugar actually cooks eggs. That's what kind of helps that reaction when the eggs become thicker, fluffier. It's actually the sugar cooking the eggs.
How does that happen?
It's all science.
Chemical reactions between the expermasa foliate and the sugarose and
Which is why we just stick to cooking. So it's very important also, so when we do this, that you actually let it go until the sugar has dissolved.
Okay.
That way you know that the reaction has happened.
I don't know if you guys can see in here, but you can actually see on the inside, while I'm beating it, you will see that there's slight little gritty bits towards the actual, the side of where the beaters are standing. You'll see those will slowly start to dissolve and it'll look more like bubbles. And once you've noticed the sort of foaming starting to happen, that's when you know that it's dissolved fully into that butter.
When does your TV show air? I was just like, because I'd love to, like, just...
I'm the guest chef for today. My name's Dan. You can find me on my blog. No.
Such
I
a
wish.
good combination.
Cool. Am I done now?
So, believe it or not, that chocolate and butter has completely melted together. It's become a luxurious velvety mixture.
Okay.
So,
my sugar's dissolved properly into the eggs.
now you've done your part, I've done my part. Now we're going to bring it all together. Okay. So can you pour, and I will slowly whisk.
Was that a question of whether I am capable of?
It's not at all. No, never. There we go. Comes all together.
Yummy. Cool, there it all goes.
And you'll see
yummy.
immediately it starts thickening up.
Yes.
And we're almost there. We're almost there. Last ingredient is our flour.
And that's also a thickening agent, I assume,
is.
which kind of gives it that... it's going to create a slight mousse, won't it?
It will. And it also helps us actually bake this pudding. Because without it will kind of just be a mousse. The cool tip about this is you could make this and let it actually sit for 2 days before you serve it or use it.
Before you bake it, because it's one of those things that holds on.
Doesn't even have to go in the fridge. Can you believe it?
Why?
There's so much sugar in there, there's nothing's going to spoil in there.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
we've cooked the eggs as well.
So basically, eat lots of sugar, and then your body will never decay.
You know,
What are we doing on the show? Let's get out of here. We know the trick to life. We know what the purpose of life is.
So you know what? Let's actually do that in part 2. Because it's so much magic, I want to carry it over to part 2.
Wow,
absolutely.
All right. So more to come right here on Afternoon Express with this mysterious dessert that we're making right here on the show, which is called?
Oh my goodness, it's called the extra loving lava peanut butter chocolate pudding. I think I messed it up, but you know what we're doing. It's
on the website, afternoonexpress.co.za. The recipe and the shopping list is there too, but make sure you write down that name, memorize it, and if you haven't memorized it, send us, I don't know, maybe a Snapchat or something. You can find us at Afternoon Live and send us a Snapchat of exactly what you think the name of this dessert is, if you can remember, right? We'll be right back. Oh no, wait, Jeannie's on the couch.
Those crazy boys are having far too much fun in the kitchen today. Now, endometriosis is a disorder that everybody should have heard of by now, as it affects 176 million women worldwide who are in their reproductive years. Yet very few people actually understand what it is or the debilitating effects it can have on women. March is Endometriosis Month, and we're back on the couch with Millen Magese, along with gynaecologist Dr. Elmarie Basson, to learn more about this very serious disorder. Welcome back. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, what is the correct definition for endometriosis? What exactly is it? I know Millen gave us a bit of a definition there, but what is the medical? Yeah.
Sure, a good definition is basically when the lining of the womb, what we call the endometrium, instead of it sort of exit through the vagina, it actually sort of exits through the fallopian tubes, and then it goes and sits on various spots inside the abdomen. And then it forms little nests or nodules. So every time you have a period, you don't only bleed from the uterus, but you bleed from all these little nodules. And that's why it's such a debilitating disease. Very painful, yeah.
What causes it?
Well, the pathogenesis or the cause of it is unclear. We think that the retrograde menstruation, which is the menstruation where it escapes through the fallopian tubes, is the main reason, although that happens in every single woman. But we think that the immune system in women with endometriosis is different to other women. So, and they are for some reason more susceptible. And then there are some other theories, you know, of
but still no direct or no...
No, I think
really?
The one that they sort of stick to is the retrograde menstruation. And then, of course, there might be a genetic predisposition, you know. You might have a mother or a sister who've got it, you know, so you've also got an increased incidence of getting it.
Okay. And, I mean, how far, if they don't even know exactly what causes it, how far are we with treatment? I mean, can it be cured?
There's no cure.
No, it can't be cured. It can be managed.
Really?
Managed.
Yeah.
Which the management is, I should explain, but for my side, they've done 13 surgeries, and that's why I'm wearing this T-shirt. You know, 13 surgeries, I don't know when it's going to stop. 13 surgeries, I'm already I'm facing infertility. 13 surgery. I'm already have 2 fallopian tubes blocked and 1 ovary down. So it's really, and even I'm sitting to you in front of you, they're asking me to remove my uterus because I have to find a way to have quality of life. Again, I do not have life. It's completely put you down to bed. She can explain more, but it is something that I think because I'm here as somebody that I suffer with, that's why I feel like I just have to speak. You need so much of support. For all these years, I had somebody who truly, her and her husband took me as their own, expecting every year that I'll be doing 2 surgeries. They gave me a room, and she was here before. Adhiambo Mula, you know, every year they have to. She had to deal with her pregnancy and still deal with me. So if you do not have amazing family to understand, it's not something you can deal with.
What does the surgery comprise of, though? What do they do in the surgery?
So there's different surgeries. Sorry, I speak like a doctor, but I shouldn't.
No, it's okay. Who better to speak about it because you know what it is. You know what they've done to you.
There's different surgeries they do. There's one that they remove. So first of all, to know that you have endometriosis, you have to do laparoscopy. So you will never understand you have it through ultrasound or MRIs or anything. You have to go in. I mean, MRIs can just tell that there's maybe something there, but the only thing that can confirm you have endometriosis is when they go in with the laparoscopy. Laparoscopy it's a procedure. It's like 20 to 30 minutes procedure. It depends, yes. Camera goes inside here in your nipple and they're able to see, but if you find they have to do laparoscopy surgery. Where they're able to go in and turn those ovaries and
Why so many surgeries? What changes from one surgery to the next? I mean, why has she had to have so many, do you think?
Because every time you have a period, you make more endometriosis. Yeah. So what you do with surgery like laparoscopy is you try to create or preserve anatomy as far as you can. You get rid of the endometriosis that there is at the moment and the adhesions. But then, you know, if you don't do something to suppress the periods, then the endometriosis keep coming back. So after 5 years... Which is why
women would then have to have a hysterectomy. Can women with endometriosis fall pregnant and have a full-term pregnancy?
It's not the duration of the pregnancy that's the issue. It's basically the degree of the disease. So if you've got mild or stage 1 disease, your chance of falling pregnant is quite good, you know.
Okay,
but if it's stage 4, you know, the chance of having a spontaneous pregnancy is actually very slim. And then you're looking at sort of IVF, you know, in vitro fertilization, so fertility treatment.
Okay, and then also early detection. That's obviously the win.
Absolutely.
Early detection. I've had miscarriages in the past, but now I can't conceive completely. You are looking to do IVF, which I think if you look at what I do, my campaign, I push for government to bring the IVF treatment to public hospitals. There are so many women out there that are suffering with just having a child and without knowing the reasons around. A child is very important to African countries, especially African families. And if you're not able to give your child to your husband or to your family, there are other families that they're thinking, you give 2 girls, they're still demanding for a boy. You can imagine a woman like me, well, I can afford this. How about this average woman? What does she do? This causes me to have another 13-year-old girl to be able to get married at a young age because men believes on marrying somebody younger and leave a woman who's 30-something. Now, what about girls continue with their school? It's like something I think at some point our government should come aboard and help us.
Well, that's why your voice is so important. So I think, I mean, you are a blessing for lending your voice to this campaign. Thank you very much for all the work that you do. And I'm pretty sure that you're going to be a pretty strong fighter behind this. Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming as well.
Thank you.
And remember that if you live with endometriosis, there is support out there. If you want any more information, then head over to endpain.co.za, which contains all of the information on how you can help or find help. After the break, we're joined by fashion designer Casper Bosman, who creates some of the most beautiful wedding gowns and evening dresses. Don't go anywhere.
Skip loves your clothes as much as you do.
welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, his career started in 2007, and over a few short years, he has successfully made his mark in the international fashion industry with his bespoke wedding gowns and luxurious evening wear. He's dressed former Miss South Africa Lisa Laurie, as well as creating the gown that Relene Strauss wore when she won Miss World in 2014. Joining us in the loft is Casper Bosman. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
So cool to have you. Now, we've mentioned
So good.
I know, and we've mentioned all of these are the Miss South Africas that you've dressed in Miss World, but the most recent dress, which nobody can forget, is the wedding dress that Relene walked out in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Well, she actually wore two dresses, to be honest.
Obviously,
a lot of people
she
have
did.
seen that little secret we had at the bar, right at the back of the wedding. But I mean, it was beautiful. She looked amazing. It was
She's so
super
incredible.
proud moment.
But she wears you all the time. You literally are her favorite designer.
Well, I hope so. In the last year and a half, she's probably worn over 70 dresses of mine.
Wow.
So we've worked quite... I mean, and she's an amazing friend, and she's been a great support to the label. So
Yeah.
I'll always be indebted to her.
She's a lucky lady, let's just put it that way. I mean, I know that all the girls in the loft all going,
No,
those
those
dresses have arrived in here.
dresses.
It's absolutely amazing. But where did this all begin? Where did your love for design and fashion all begin? And it's really hard to break into this industry. And
It is very difficult. I actually thought about it coming here today. I mean, I started in Cape Town as well, like a lot of designers, and I just knew I had this dream, and I know I had this passion for it, but where was it going to start? I mean, I come from a very creative background. Both my grandmothers were brilliant seamstresses. My mother is a brilliant seamstress as well. So I think it was bound to happen. I mean, it's always been my dream. It's always been something that I really wanted to do. I just knew it was going to be difficult.
Okay, but that's not entirely true, because a little birdie once told me that, in fact, your career path that you really wanted to follow is you wanted to be a Chippendale dancer.
Yes.
what the heck?
Do you have any moves that you can show us?
No, to be honest, I mean, I remember being young. I'm almost 34 now. So when I was
Still
very
young.
young, I know I'm very young. I was very young, and I switched to, I can't remember, TV1 or TV2 one evening late. You know, like those dodgy late night shows. And I saw a Chippendale
I don't know
show.
the shows. What are you talking
when
about?
I was really young, and I looked at the show and I thought, this is what I want to be. I want to be an entertainer. I want to be a dancer. So,
With your top off
and my
and the bow
idea was
tie.
like that was a glamorous career. So I mean, that's why I really wanted to be a Chippendale.
So glamour must have always been in you. It must have always been a part of you, and the whole idea of being something that's in the spotlight and something that was there and available for you, which is really cool. But then your relationship with Miss South Africa, how did that whole... Because now you've judged last year, judging again this year. I mean, you've been helping some of the contestants.
It's a weird... Maybe it's an infatuation, because I mean, if I counted the amount of Miss S's that I've worked with, I mean, there's 8 that I've worked with in the past.
Wow.
Become Miss SA.
It's getting
What's wrong with
a bit difficult, because a lot of people are putting me in that group. So it is a bit difficult now. I don't know, it just happened.
How does it work with your relationship? Because if you work with a lot of these Miss South Africas and some of the contestants as well along the journey, but you're judging the competition as well. I know there's no clash because then you've done that well, but how do you make that work?
It's very difficult. I mean, you need to keep it separate in a way of like, yes, today I'm your designer and your friend and your stylist, but tomorrow I need to find
Tomorrow I'm judging
the
you.
best, the best representative of South Africa to take her to the rest of the world.
You've obviously had to step out of some of the judging at points where specific dresses have been worn.
Exactly. I mean, it's like I've helped quite a few girls in the past. This year I've helped 4 girls dressing them. I mean, it's always great for some of the contestants to phone and say, I want to wear one of your dresses. I mean, it's nice exposure for me, let's be honest about it. And it's nice to do the fun stuff. I mean, yes, we have a lot of clients, we do a lot of wedding dresses. Sometimes it gets a bit boring. You want to have a little bit of glam, a little bit of sexiness. And so it's nice to dress some of those girls because they're beautiful.
Well, listen, I'm not interested in the tiara, but I'm certainly interested in some of those dresses. So you've got a new collection out, as well as a ready-to-wear.
It's a ready-to-wear collection, yes.
Amazing. Where are we going to get it?
Well, it's going to be all over. I mean, we have 4 stockers overseas, and we have a few that we're supplying to in South Africa. I'm very excited about it because I think we got to a space the last 2 years where I realised, how am I going to get it more accessible to the rest of the country? Because I can't make 2,000 dresses here with my own hands. Yes,
well, you're going to have to try, because I'm going to take at least 1,000 of them.
So it's difficult, and the dream started December. We actually went with Relene to Miss World to help her that side, and we had a short little trip in Vietnam, and I thought, I want to see what's happening in the silk trade. I want to see how they produce fabrics. How will it make? How are we going to do it and make it a little bit easier and get a better variety of fabrics?
It makes South Africans feel like they're now able to wear great designers' clothing, which I think is so awesome. So I think there's nothing more that we can say besides having to bring some models into the loft, dress them up in the outfits that you guys you've designed for them, and let's just take a look at them. I think that's the best way. So let's have a look at our first model. You can talk us through these looks.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, I know I'm going to want everything now.
I always love a red dress.
Sure.
I mean, you can't go wrong with a red dress. Yeah, I mean, most of the dresses can be worn by people. I mean, from this dress, for instance, go from a size 8 to a size 12, and just the type of fabric that we've used. So it needs to be versatile. It needs to be wearable. That's what the ready-to-wear is about. It shouldn't be something corseted. It shouldn't be something that's too tight-fitting. It needs to be easy on your body.
Yes,
it is
totally.
So stunning.
It is so cool, and it's so feminine at the same time. I mean,
okay, so already
beautiful.
one that I want. I'm going to okay, sold. It's mine. I want it.
I think it's nice to show a little bit of skin, but I never like overdoing it. So for me, it's like, it's nice if there's a slit. It's nice if it shows a little bit of chest bone. And it's nice to then cover up some of the other pieces. I think it's that little bit of mystery as well. So I think this is one of those mystery dresses.
Yes.
To have the two-tone, the monochrome type of feel to the dress, and have a little bit of bling, because, I mean, even though it's a ready-to-wear gown, it needs to be something exclusive. We don't want something that looks like you could have bought it at any store. It needs to still have that little trademark, the Casper trademark.
I mean, well, there's no way that this looks like it comes from any old store. Not at all. Not even the slightest.
I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah. Wow.
It's just so elegant.
I already have so many orders for this because this fabric is just out of this world. I mean the woven texture of it, and I mean the color and everything. It comes in so many different colors, from a yellow to a pink to a soft blue. So it's nice that we can do like the color combo with this texture.
I can feel Vietnam or come out of this sort of look, but it's also got such an African feel about it too, because it almost looks almost organic.
Yeah, I think it's important that we keep that South African heritage alive. I mean, it's even if it's produced overseas. I mean, at the moment we still need to show this is truly South African fashion. Absolutely. And that's what it's about.
Awesome. It's incredible work. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, so pretty.
This is one of my favorite dresses. Yeah. I mean, it's like just this washed out powder blue. And I think it's very, very girly and feminine. And I mean, every girl wants to look like a pretty little princess type of thing. So I think it's gorgeous to have like a soft little chiffon gown like this in your cupboard.
Absolutely gorgeous. But that's stunning for a wedding, that's stunning for evening, a gala dinner, and even a day at the polo, actually.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the idea. It needs to be versatile. I mean, there's no use to buy a beautiful ready-to-wear dress in this collection, but you can only wear it once.
Exactly.
It needs to be dressed to different occasions, different events. Yeah. So that was sort of my aim, exactly with what you're wearing today. I mean, we needed to look like it's a versatile piece. I mean, you can wear this in winter, but you can also wear it as a dress, like what you're wearing it today.
Yeah.
So it needs to be I don't want it to always just have one function. And then next season's collection that's coming out, there's always add-ons in what we've done this year. So
I cannot wait.
I'm very excited about it.
Filling my wardrobe up with Casper designer, Casper Bosman. I want all of it. After the break, we're chatting to the creator of Galago, uniquely African interchangeable sandals. Stay right where you are.
Unlock the M collection.
Salati Plantation Select adds subtle sweetness to toffees, caramel, bran muffins, or sprinkled into a spicy curry. Salati, always good, always sweet.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, Galago is a unique footwear brand which focuses on sandals that are made up of a sole and interchangeable upper pieces. They are 100% African in that all of the components are sourced locally and the sandals are made by local women, with the idea of recognizing and investing in African wealth and people. We're joined by the founder of Galago, model turned entrepreneur, Adhiambo Mula-Lauwers. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is just the most amazing topic of conversation to me, because naturally my favorite thing in the world is, in fact, shoes.
Surprise, surprise.
Where did your love of shoes come from?
I think, when every girl is born, God decides, this is a special gene, you will love shoes and chocolate. So I think it's, it's naturally innate to love shoes.
Now, you initially started importing shoes and then made the move to actually start making your own. I want to hear that story. What were you importing and then why cross over to making your own?
So, because of love of shoes, I started importing past season designer collections. So I went to all the factories in the south of France and got past season collections to bring them here and sell them. I used the online platform to try and get them to the public. And they had these sandals in Ankara, African fabric. I was like, how ridiculous is that I'm buying, African print sandals in Italy to bring them back to Africa. So I said, why can't I do it? Why can't we do it? Of course we can. And that's how it began.
I love that you've got such an entrepreneurial spirit because you were a model before. So obviously, did that help you make any inroads in being in fashion?
Absolutely. I think, being a model is actually being an entrepreneur. You manage your own brand, the way you market yourself, And then from there, I went into show production. So I worked with Lucilla Boyson in producing shows. And then from there, shoes.
And you were doing so well. You exhibited at Design in Durban. Now, how well were you received?
It was fantastic there. It was my first season there, and then from there I got great, retail stores like Merchants on Long in Cape Town and Egality at Parkhurst. Yes. So the response was phenomenal, and I'm so grateful for that.
Incredible. Now, why sandals in particular? I can see you've got other flats over there, but mainly sandals.
Well, I'm a Kenyan girl at heart. I grew up in Mombasa in a sunny beach, so we're not running around, barefoot. We were wearing sandals. So it was the easiest thing to do. It was, it was what my love was. It was a passion I had, so I started from there.
Okay, now how does it work? Because everything I can see, you can build your own shoe.
What you start with is a blank base, so it's like the canvas. You decide what you want, what you feel like that day. So, for example, if you like a little animal print, you add all the different bits and pieces, and you create your shoe. You can add accessories, take them off, you're off to the beach. You can add a little fabric tie. So, the world's your oyster. Just play, and have fun with the shoe.
Now, you graced fashion shows and campaigns and catwalks across the world a couple of years ago. How was, your modelling career took you from Kenya to South Africa and then the world. What was that like also?
A couple of years is generous. It's quite a while. Quite a while back. It was great. It was something that, I never thought was going to happen. It was incidental. And, just took it from there. I came to South Africa, got a great response, did covers here, did runways here. So I was grateful for that part of my life.
I love that you said it's, being a model, you're also an entrepreneur and you get that kind of preparation in terms of the business side. But do you think it also gave you so much of a broader scope, I suppose, in being able to style your own brands?
Yeah, absolutely. And also because of being in the fashion industry, I built a network with designers, for example. So they've been my guidance, they've given me insight onto the industry. So I think it was really great, that relationship that I built.
Yeah, that is amazing. Now, back to the shoes. I want to see... Sorry, I'm easily distracted when it comes to shoes.
We love it.
Now, the flats are amazing as well. Are those only for women or for men as well?
They're unisex, so they're a new collection. They're coming out in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Yes, it's a new collection. And what I love about them is that every single bit of this shoe is made from scratch in South Africa. So basically, the sole is made out of Malawian rubber and recycled tire. The fabric is shweshwe, made in Eastern London. So every part of this shoe is touched by South African hands, and which is, my passion.
Yeah, and they look incredibly comfy as well. I love that. Proudly South African. Now, where can people buy these stunning shoes?
3 great South African design spaces. So either the Watershed in Cape Town, the Workshop Newtown in Newtown, or a retail-style container park called 27 Boxes in Melville.
Fantastic. Now you know where to find these glorious shoes. Let's go shoe shopping. But first, let's head back to the kitchen with Danilo.
Indeed, something that's also proudly local is our resident chef, Clem Pedro.
Thank you. Are we making what?
Something so decadent and delicious and amazing and just such a great person, I really enjoy working with you. I have no idea what the name is. It's really long. Website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Long name. Delicious.
Awesome. So let's get back to that.
So what have we done so far? Just give us a quick recap. So we've mixed all the ingredients together, the chocolate, the butter, we've thrown in the sugar, which we've beaten up with a few eggs, tossed it in there, made it mix it up quite nicely. It's been sitting.
You've been paying attention. Look at that. Okay, so now we're going to assemble it. Okay,
cool.
So now back to you and the peanut butter. Because I'm going to let you do that. How much do you love peanut butter?
I love it so much. I put it in my smoothies. I eat it on rice cakes. I eat it with my finger, with a spoon, anything.
Okay, spoon today. How's
Cool.
that?
Done.
So I'm going to start with the bottom layer of our pudding, which this is our amazing mixture. And don't worry if it doesn't seem like we have enough. What happens is as it cooks, it puffs up a little bit, spreads out. It'll make 2 layers, a bottom layer, peanut butter,
Okay,
top
this
layer.
makes sense.
There we go.
Okay,
Just a
and
little
if
bit.
I'm going to put this here, I'm really worried that I'm going to mess up the mixture because this is quite thick and this is quite soft. Aren't I going to like
There's
mess it up?
no, like nothing's going to happen. I mean, peanut butter and chocolate mixing together. I mean, does it sound like a...
doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
There we go. And I like how you're doing it. You're spreading it. I just added like little knobs of
A
it.
little swirly of it.
But I mean, you're getting all in there, so you can do
Sorry,
that.
I got it too excited. Let
me help you?
You didn't instruct
You good?
me very well. So I'm just making it my own here, okay? Fake
You're
it till
doing a
you
good
make
job.
it, baby. Fake it till you make it.
There we go.
Oh, yummy. That looks delicious. Oh.
And the idea is that the peanut butter also stops the chocolate filling from setting too much.
Okay.
So it stays a little molten in the center.
Ah,
Are you good?
delish.
Is that enough?
I'm done. I'm happy with that.
So
For
then,
now.
lastly, the
Because
top
peanut
layer.
butter is quite an overwhelming flavour. It can be quite rich. You don't want people to take a bite of your dessert and then feel like they've had too much, you know?
Too much peanut butter.
Yeah, too much. Because they don't be like, oh, 1 bite, I can't have any more.
Oh,
One
you
of those-
do. And then you can keep it like...
Just keep going. Put the chocolate inside. Less ideas.
There we go.
Cool. More chocolate on that top.
And then we just go to final plate. I know it looks like I'm wasting, but I'm not because
No.
I'm keeping this aside because you know.
For me, you know,
You know.
us off air, this is what happens.
Yeah.
That's the point of ad breaks, is so that we can wash our hands after like nibbling off the bowl. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
He is kidding because previous ad break you had to hose him down. Yeah. So don't worry, like you see, I've left a few gaps.
Yes.
The
Perfectly
chocolate pudding
okay.
it sits by itself, fills out, and you can pass the one that we made a little earlier.
Oh, so wait, that gets popped into the oven?
It goes into the oven, depending how runny you want it. Oh, little topping of peanut butter. If it goes into the oven for about 15 minutes, you'll have it quite runny in the center, but still amazingly delicious.
Ooh, yummy.
A little longer, take it to 20 minutes, and you'll get a molten center, which is what we have here today.
Okay.
So the best way to serve this, with a spoon.
Yummy! So just out of the bowl like that.
Just you, spoon, sofa, and your best, like your favorite series.
So what is this doing here then, if that's how you serve
Now,
it?
what happens is the cream cuts through all that richness of the peanut butter and the chocolate. You would normally think cream is quite a rich ingredient.
Yes.
But with this one, it just brings it all together, cuts through that slightly saltiness of the peanut
Yes.
butter as well. It just makes it one harmonious
Because it
dish.
can be so rich that I can imagine the cream sort of makes it look really delicious. So we're making our own version of a top deck here. So let's go on. Do we
So
put
you
this on
ready
top?
for this? And there's no nice way to do this as well. Just add it.
Oh, so I just
You
kind of
tip.
like, whoop.
There
You
we
work
go,
this
there
up
we go. And
slightly. I see. Have you
that's
added any
it.
sugar?
Just a slight bit of icing sugar or normal sugar. And again, don't be like all specific about it. Get it just a little bit open because you want to see that ooze of the chocolate pudding.
Oh, it looks so delicious. It's so
that's my
simple
dish.
to make. And it's apparently, well, not apparently, I know. It is so amazing because inside the center of this dish itself, there's so many different flavors and you just ooze this chocolate out. It is so delicious. So make sure you cook this one along with us right here on Afternoon Express. We're going to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. You can download the recipe and the shopping list. Both will be available for you. You can go and check that out. We'll be right back after this.
Express yourself.
Your next Magnum could be the one. Find a key with a unique code and stand a chance to win a shopping spree worth 100,000 Rand, plus designer fashion accessories by Gert-Johan Coetzee. Unlock the M Collection.
Five Roses blends only the top 2 leaves of the finest Ceylon teas. Because nobody makes better tea than you and Five Roses.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on 3. Now, fashion in South Africa is hotter than ever, but with winter just around the corner, it's time to talk about the coolest collections from our local designers. Joining us to discuss winter fashion and what our SA talent has to offer are Tarryn Oppel, fashion director of Elle, and Nontando Mposo, features writer for the Cape Argus. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
It's always such a pleasure to have you on the couch and to shoot with you again. Now, Nontando, you literally go to every single runway show, so you know exactly what our local designers are up to.
Yes.
Who's getting you hot this winter?
Well, from what it was recently the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week Joburg, and from what our designers showcased on the runways, it seems like for autumn-winter, we're looking back to the good old days of the 60s and the 70s. And one designer who did just that, among others, is David Tlale. Now, he's known for drama, and he brought on the drama. He had the amazing feminine silhouettes of like high-waisted pants, like your well-form-fitted dresses. And he did like a number of stories, and he used materials such as lace, such as tweed. It was just rich.
Yeah, it really did have that heritage feel. It really did go back to that time of tweeds and houndstooth, but then mixing it with romantic lace.
I'm
obsessed
it was quite
with
dramatic.
David.
And I love how he does make a story, and he really does ham it up. He goes full tilt.
Definitely. And another designer who celebrated South African or like African women in general is Millie Collins. This is like made up of a group of designers. Now, their collection was titled Curio, which was inspired by a curious shop from around Africa. And it was made up of pastel colors with different separates, of also like feminine dresses, wide leg pants, skirts, and like pastel colors.
Yeah, I felt like many of the designers actually at Fashion Week really touched on pops of colors. So their color palette was navy and gray, but then they had like burnt citruses in between and forest greens. So yeah, it was really great actually. Yeah, it was beautiful.
And how amazing was the styling, like those head wraps.
Oh, the head wraps were amazing. People were calling them like princess crowns.
The Nubian queens.
Yeah, they were really, really beautiful.
I love that. I've got this fantasy of like being in Elizabeth Taylor one day where I walk around in like a turban, and but I think the head wraps
will totally be acceptable.
Like,
should totally try it.
Like dramatic sunglasses as well. It doesn't mean that it's winter, you have to put those away. They still add a bit of something in each look.
Then who was this designer?
That was Tamara Sherry. Now, she's come a long way from winning the 2014 Elle Emerging Designer. She seems to have found her voice and her style, and she showcased an amazing collection of also pastel colors, but using like luxurious fabrics. You see, such
they were
as
like wool.
I
love the
knits.
metallics. I thought that was so fresh. It was a really great introduction to her collection, because winter is usually seen as something that's quite drab, so it really lifted it with the sheen. And the ox blood.
The ox blood was nice,
in between,
as well. So, our designers are at a
they really,
exciting
the young ones, they really are emerging. And another one is Akado, Eleni Labra. What I loved about her collection is that she wanted to perceive Africa in a personal way. So she said that she's half African and half European, and for her to use ethnic prints was not her. So even though, we all embrace that, she wanted people to kind of see how she sees Africa.
Exactly.
And without any ethnic prints, it really did embody that. There were some great prints in there, some monochrome colors, again, forest greens, pops of orange. She had like perspex badges. So it was really, really beautiful. Also, the styling was great.
I love the artistic elements as well. We've seen a lot of designers do that, mixing art and
like
fashion.
selfie as well.
Is this selfie that we're seeing now? I mean, they are so good as well.
Her prints were quite abstract. So it almost had this Picasso feel and the bold stripes, which is massive for winter. So she included all of that in there. She also had a little touch of a French beret. And so it was quite quirky. Hints of denim in there. Her shapes were very wearable. I would want to wear any one of those dresses. They're like really simple slip dresses with buttons, and that's it. But the prints were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, this I'm mad about already. Just having a look. Who's this?
It's so beautiful. It's Soteti KL. For the first time in Fashion Week, I mean, this was on the third day, and literally for the first time I felt like now I'm in winter. Like the brocades were beautiful. The quality was impeccable. And again, the bold, rich jewel tones. There's also that really, really pretty swallow print with really billowing shapes. Billowing shapes and the mints. did a collaboration with Folks. It was lots of hosiery and socks and things. That was, yeah, it was really, really great.
I'm so excited about South African fashion. I
It's
mean,
so exciting.
what amazing collections.
It's stunning stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I'm
thank
really
you so
looking
much.
forward to the winter.
I've never looked forward to winter before in my life. Maybe this year we'll head there. Thank you so much for bringing
no
all of
worries.
this, really.
Thanks
We're
so
going to have a
much.
very stylish winter this year.
Definitely.
Thank you, ladies. Right now, though, Danilo's in the kitchen.
Sure, South Africa, we've had the most phenomenal show today. So many incredible guests, amazing fashion, and we've spoken about some really important issues. So I hope this conversation is going to continue at home with you guys on the social media sites. Keep interacting with us at Afternoon Chat on Twitter. But it's all about to end on a very sweet note because we've brought you guys something so delicious. We made it in the kitchen. I don't even want to pronounce it again because this name is so long. We've had like 5 names for it. But it's basically just decadence upon decadence upon decadence, like you all.
I absolutely loved today's show. Thank you all for coming. I mean, it's been so inspiring. All of you are just such beautiful, inspiring people. Thank you so much for being on the show.
And what's awesome is there's such young people too, like people doing such amazing things at such a young age. It proves that nothing starts like when you're older. It starts right now, no matter where you are. So it's really fascinating.
I'm not even waiting. I'm not wasting a minute.
Not even, she's straight.
Oh my goodness, this is so amazing. So I'm going to pass down. There you go.
We'll just keep swapping plates.
And we're going to be back on Monday. Until then, have a fabulous weekend and happy eating.
Good night.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here. And we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.